Caleb loved me deeply, yet he decided to marry another woman. He gave me two choices: either stay by his side as his mistress, or take the breakup fee and leave. I took the money, turned around, and booked a flight ticket to leave. I blocked all of Caleb's and the people in his circle's contact information. I thought we would never have any intersection again. Many years later, Caleb, who had been almost driven crazy by searching for me, finally found me, who had just returned to the country. However, he found his ex-fiancee standing in front of him. "This is my sister-in-law. Get lost, you heartless man," Chloe Hudding fulfilled my die. "You will always be by my side, won't you?" Caleb dried my hair as usual. I've always been sensitive and immediately caught the coaxing tone in his words. "Caleb, what have you been doing behind my back?" I turned around and pretended to be angry as I pushed the man onto the bed. He loved me most when I acted spoiled and arrogant. "I need to get engaged," I said. Caleb pulled me into his arms and gently soothed me. As the Arabic Caleb family, it's impossible for me not to get married for my whole life. But the good news is that the daughter of the Hunter family who will marry into our family doesn't like men. I met her today, and we reached a consensus. After marriage, we don't have to live together, and we won't share a bed either. You will always be the only wife I recognize. I lay on his chest. The sound of his heartbeat in my ear was gradually overwhelmed by the tinnitus. When I finally came to my senses, I felt that my hands and feet were terribly cold. I silently broke free from his embrace and stood up by the bedside. Caleb sensed that I was in a bad mood and sat up as well. "Caleb, you want me to be your mistress," I said. My fingernails dug into my palm, and the pain made me suppress my sobs. I tried to find traces of joking on his face, but he put away his usual tenderness and was replaced by a rational and serious expression, just like when he was dealing with business matters. "Chloe, this is just a cooperation," he said. My mind was in a mess, like a machine that suddenly malfunctioned and couldn't operate. The atmosphere in the bedroom was stagnant for a few minutes. Caleb said, "Take some time to calm down, and we'll talk about it tomorrow." After that, he got up and left the bedroom. The door downstairs opened and then closed, and the villa returned to silence. I stared blankly at the huge wedding photo in the bedroom. This was taken on our second anniversary of dating. Caleb tricked me into taking couple commemorative photos, but when we got there, I found out it was a wedding photo shoot. At that time, he said he loved me but couldn't give me a real marriage. I also thought that I had just graduated from university and it was too early to consider getting married, so I didn't take it to heart at all. Now that I think about it, I have indeed become more and more dependent on Caleb. I thought my wandering and helpless soul finally had a place to rest. I couldn't help but envision the way we would grow old together. But today he told me that there would be another woman in his spouse column as a decent wife. So what was I? I had nightmares all night long. I hadn't had a nightmare since I was in university. After getting up, I forced myself to stop thinking about Caleb's words. I emptied my mind, washed up, and went downstairs. As soon as I opened the bedroom door, I heard the voices of people talking downstairs. Caleb and a woman. Dong dong dong. With the sound of my going downstairs, the two people downstairs noticed me. I just happened to meet the gaze of a capable-looking woman. "Is this the little girlfriend you told me about?" The woman looked at Caleb teasingly. Caleb nodded gently and then beckoned to me. "Chloe, come here. This is Wendy, the daughter of the Hunter family who will marry me by agreement. I thought about it last night. It would be better for her to explain it to you. After all, you may have more time to get along in the future." I forcibly stopped the thought of running back to my room and walked stiffly to the sofa. I deliberately chose the side farthest from them. "Chloe, don't worry about our cooperation. I have no interest in men and I already have someone I like. If Chloe is still not reassured, we can sign a prenuptial contract. And in the future, your child with Caleb can definitely be recorded in the family tree as the heir of the Caleb family." I lowered my head and stared at the coffee table. The living room fell into a silent and awkward atmosphere. I could feel that this Wendy had no ill will towards me. In fact, she didn't care about me at all. "Chloe, stop being stubborn. Wendy came here in person to explain it to you. Aren't you still not reassured?" Caleb stood up and sat down beside me. "You really know how to keep such a pretty little beauty by your side," Wendy teased generously and then casually raised her chin at me. "However, a girl can't rely entirely on a man. If you want to leave Caleb in the future, you can directly send your resume to the Hunter family as compensation for you." Caleb frowned and didn't respond, but his hand around my shoulder tightened slightly. "All right, that's it for today. I'll ask my secretary to talk to you about the details of the engagement banquet later." After Wendy left, the villa became quiet. "What would you like for breakfast?" I'll go and make it, Caleb said, rolling up his shirt sleeves and resuming his gentle and refined appearance in front of me. I looked at the floor and suddenly felt it was absurd. When I first got together with Caleb, I was clearly very sober. I just took a fancy to his status and position, and that he could protect me from the dangers in society. When I was a freshman and went to work part-time, I was harassed and pursued by a married boss. If it weren't for Caleb, I might have been violated by that old man. Not to mention that later, the man's wife even wronged me as a mistress. I didn't have the magical abilities like in novels. I could only hold on to Caleb tightly and regard him as a life-saving straw for me. Kelling fulfilled by Xi. These were extremely serious matters, but he solved them smoothly with just 2 phone calls. After being with him for 3 years, I naively believed in the so-called love. Let's break up. I will never be your mistress either. You give up the marriage alliance, or you let me go, I said. But I knew he couldn't give up the Hunter family. He had been extremely busy with the development project in the eastern city some time ago. As soon as the funds from the Hunter family arrived, his current difficulties would be easily solved. Sure enough, Caleb's face turned cold. Have you thought it through? He asked. Chloe Houghton fulfilled my ads. We are both adults. I won't play the game of you chasing me and me running away with you. If you leave here, you will never have the chance to come back. My heart tapped slightly, but I still nodded. Fine. I always thought you were smart, Caleb cursed in a low voice and kicked the coffee table hard. I shuddered at the loud crashing sound. I will ask someone to transfer 10 million yuan to you, which is considered as payment for keeping you for 3 years. Don't let me see you again in the future, he said. After that, he pulled off the coat on the back of the sofa and slammed the door as he left. Even after the sound of the car faded away, my heart still couldn't calm down. Caleb had never lost his temper like this before. Since I met him, he had always been gentle and gentlemanly. When I brought up the breakup, I thought the worst outcome was that he would just tell me to get out. But there was actually a breakup fee. If it were converted into a job with an annual salary of more than 3 million yuan, it wasn't a loss. People really laugh when they are helpless. Sometimes I really admire my own optimism. Anyway, fulfilled my obsession. I'm just an ordinary and vulgar person. My complicated thoughts were interrupted by the notification sound of my phone. The message showed that 10 million yuan had been deposited into my bank card. I rubbed my face and tried to cheer myself up. All the things in this villa were bought by Caleb, and I didn't plan to take anything with me. I slowly went upstairs. The only thing I planned to deal with was a wedding photo. I took down all the photos in the bedroom, went to the study again, took away the photo album, and then deleted the backups in Caleb's computer. I took all the paper photos, big and small, to the yard and burned them. It was already afternoon when I finished all these things, and then I left with my documents. Since it was close to my senior year graduation, the school no longer arranged any courses for me. I hesitated for a minute at the bus stop with my school bag on my back and then chose to take a taxi to the airport. The destination was a small town in the South City. Since it was the off-season for tourism, I directly booked a first-class ticket. It was only after the plane took off that I felt my emotions surging back. Caleb's back as he slammed the door and left, and the back when he saved me in the past, alternated in my mind. How could he say he loved me while planning to marry another woman? When we first got together, I knew there was a big gap between us. I didn't have a good family background, nor did I have any business acumen. But I could paint and had been recognized by the art master Professor Tao. I held a small art exhibition with the prize money from the competition. I could make all kinds of beautiful desserts and won a gold medal and an international competition. I even took the trouble to get a nutritionist certificate in order to regulate Caleb's body. I thought that as long as I was excellent enough in my own field, I could stand beside him confidently and equally. But until today, I realized that Caleb had actually always regarded me as his appendage, just a pretty, pleasing, and comfortable little woman. The more I thought about it, the more my heart ached. After all, he was my first love, the man I had loved for 3 years. I curled up in my seat and sobbed. Fortunately, I had a private compartment for each person in first class, otherwise, I didn't know how embarrassing it would be when I was tired from crying. I got up, went to the bathroom to wash my face, and when I came out, I happened to see that it was getting dark outside. I opened the door of the compartment, rubbed my eyes, and walked in, but I tripped over an obstacle on the floor and bumped into a man's arms. Miss Yo. My words of apology stopped. I looked up at this person and found out it was Caleb's friend, Hunter. It wasn't accurate to say he was a friend. At most, we were nodding acquaintances, and he was my future brother-in-law. We had met a few times at banquets. Obviously, he recognized me too. Chloe, there was no fluctuation in Hunter's voice, and it was hard to tell his attitude. Do you need a tissue? I wiped my face with the back of my hand. It's okay. Sorry, I went to the wrong place. I'll go out first. The Hunter family can also give Chloe some compensation. After all, the marriage alliance is a matter for both families. I stopped in the middle of turning around. After a long silence, I chose to refuse to respond to his words. No need. We're not familiar with each other. After that, I turned around and left without hesitation. For half a second, when I got off the plane, I quickened my pace. I didn't relax until I took my luggage and ran outside. I was in a bad mood now and just wanted to stay away from the people in that circle. As I was walking, a small black shadow flashed past me. It was a little black cat. I subconsciously looked over and found that I ran under a black car by the roadside. The man in a suit standing beside the car didn't notice it. I hesitated for a second and then resolutely walked over. Sir, a little cat just ran under your car. Can I lure it out? The man in a suit frowned but still agreed. Okay, but hurry up. Our boss is about to come out. Okay, saving a cat's life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. It's fate if we see it. I crouched on the ground and searched for a long time. I could only hear the meowing but couldn't see the cat. Secretary Lee, go get the tools and help. My movements froze when I looked up. The person walking towards me was Hunter again. He squatted down beside me and started looking for the cat without saying a word. After more than 10 minutes of searching, Hunter lifted the little black cat out from above the rear wheel. The kitten seemed to be injured. Give it to me. I'll take it to the pet hospital. I reached out to take the kitten and was a bit too embarrassed to look at Hunter. I didn't give him any face on the plane just now. I'll take you there. Many taxis probably won't let a stray get in. Hunter opened a car door and motioned for me to get in. After taking the kitten to the hospital for bandaging, Hunter asked his secretary to send me to the reserved hotel. I'll take good care of Little Black. Don't worry. Hunter helped me take the suitcase out of the car and said in a soft tone. I felt a bit uncomfortable and forced a smile as I said some polite words. Today I've troubled you. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Now that you mention it, there is indeed one thing. I looked up in confusion. Was there really something I could help with? I was fortunate enough to taste the strawberry mousse made by Chloe before. I'd like to trouble you to make it again. I have no impression of it. I said. Seeing my confusion, a rare look of embarrassment appeared on Hunter's face. 2 years ago, by the riverside in Bic, you probably thought I was going to do something stupid. You gave me a piece of cake and a coupon for a dessert shop. I suddenly remembered that at that time, I should have just started learning to make desserts and occasionally worked part-time at a dessert shop near the school. Because there was a big gap between me and Caleb, sometimes I would secretly go to the riverside to relax. I often saw some unhappy people by the riverside. Some were students struggling with their grades, some were wives who had quarreled with their husbands, and there were also businessmen who were staring blankly at the river surface, seemingly about to do something foolish. Sometimes I would pretend to hand out flyers and give them coupons for the dessert shop. If they took it, there was no need to worry. Desserts can heal every unhappy person. My best friend always said I had a saint complex and was too kind. I just shrugged. There was no way around it. Maybe I just had some hero complex. After resting in the hotel for 2 days, I got into Hunter's car again. The destination was a DIY dessert shop. Before we parted that day, I finally agreed to make desserts for him at the entrance of the shopping mall in the city center. Hunter opened the car door for me. Brother. It was a very familiar voice. I looked past Hunter and saw Wendy and Caleb, who should have been in by Chang. My mind went blank, and my movement of getting out of the car froze. Hunter unobtrusively blocked in front of me. Why are you here? Caleb came to find his little girlfriend. The hotel reservation app she used was bound to Caleb's phone number. Wendy crossed her arms and gloated. I thought you were here too, so I came over to play for a few days. I was going to go to the branch office to find you after lunch today. I didn't expect to run into you so coincidentally. Shall we have a meal together? Hunter closed the rear car door and nodded at Caleb, who hadn't spoken. No, I just remembered that I have a meeting this afternoon. I said. I watched through the car window as the two of them left, and Hunter got back into the car. Let's forget about it today. We can make an appointment with Chloe another time. He suggested. I was thinking the same thing. I replied. On the way back, I was a bit restless, annoyed at myself for forgetting to change the bound phone number. Caleb even brought his fiancée to find me. I never realized he could be so scheming before. I suddenly felt a bit nauseous. I felt nauseous about my 3-year infatuation and Caleb's actions. I have a property in Nanch. I don't usually live there. If Chloe needs it, she can move in without worry. Hunter, who was sitting beside me, suddenly spoke. I was taken aback and turned to look at him. Caleb's family also has hotel businesses. Even if you change the city and the hotel, it's just a matter of time before they find you. Hunter pushed his glasses. It just so happens that I'll bring Little Black back and keep it there. I'm very busy recently and have no time to take care of it. It would be best if Chloe has time to help out with Little Black. I was still thinking about picking up that little black cat today and finding an adopter for it. The car fell silent again. My mind was racing. 2 minutes later, I looked up with a smile and met Hunter's gaze. That's just right. Then thank you, Hunter, for taking me in. When someone shows excessive kindness for no obvious reason, they either want profit or have an eye on someone. Does Hunter have his eyes on me, the ex-girlfriend of his future brother-in-law? I'm not stupid. I won't mistake Hunter for some great good Samaritan who does a good deed every day. After weighing the pros and cons, staying by Hunter's side can indeed avoid a lot of trouble. After I agreed, Hunter directly asked the driver to drive back to his place. He also called his secretary to organize the luggage in the hotel and send it over later. Hunter's place was a duplex flat near his company, and the decoration was unexpectedly warm. Wendy doesn't know about this place. Don't worry about her coming here. Just call Secretary Lee if you need anything. Hunter opened the door and let me in. As soon as I entered, I heard the meowing sound. Little Black ran out from somewhere and rubbed against my leg. His injury isn't serious, and he's recovering well. I bent down and picked up Little Black, then turned to look at Hunter. Although he still had a stern face and showed no obvious emotional fluctuations, I could somehow sense that he was a bit nervous. Hunter, which room will I be staying in? I asked. Any room is fine. I don't live here, so you don't have to feel uncomfortable, he replied. I nodded thoughtfully. Okay, then I'm not staying here for free. I promise to make cakes and desserts for you. I'll get familiar with the kitchen later and make some for you. I'll transfer the rent to you according to the corresponding price. Instead of refusing, Hunter took out his phone, opened the Friend Edition interface, and handed it to me. Okay, Chloe can add my contact information. After adding him as a friend, I held the kitten and explored the house. By the way, Hunter, you can just call me Chloe, okay? I said. Houghton fulfilled my obsession. You can just call me Hunter too, he replied. There were all the kitchen utensils and ingredients for making desserts, and it didn't take long to make them. I brought the plates to the living room. Hunter was playing with Little Black using a cat teaser. Hunter, the strawberry mousse is ready. Try it, I said. He took it, carefully cut a piece, and ate it. Seeing his actions, I felt nervous, a feeling I hadn't experienced for a long time. The always serious frown on Hunter's face relaxed, and there was a trace of barely noticeable relief in his voice. When he looked up and saw me staring at him intently, he coughed awkwardly. The eldest of the Hunter family really has a contrast, I said, withdrawing my gaze and starting to eat my own portion. My phone buzzed. It was a strange number. Hello, Chloe, where have you run off to? It was Caleb. Darling, you've had your tantrum. I'm downstairs at the hotel you booked. Come home with me, he said, softening his voice just like when we were deeply in love. I interrupted him. Caleb, we broke up. Have you forgotten? Caleb continued speaking as if I hadn't said anything. I'll just pretend you never said we broke up. We can take the wedding photos again. I've talked to Wendy. As long as you give birth to the child, I'll divorce her. This way, it will be easier for her to explain, and my family won't say anything either. I was so angry that I laughed. Caleb, where did you get the confidence to think I would go back? I will never be your extramarital lover, not even if your marriage is fake. Before he could answer, I hung up the phone and added the number to the blacklist. Hunter placed the plate on the table. I'm sorry, he said. I looked up in confusion, thinking I had misheard. What are you sorry for? I asked. Wendy and Caleb's engagement was arranged by the elders and the family, he explained. I shook my head. It's not her fault. Even if it wasn't Wendy, it was only Caleb who let me down. You don't have to feel burdened. When I saw you on the plane, I was indeed in a bad mood, but I've let it go now. At my age and with my abilities, it would be a pity to waste my feelings on a scumbag. Inner turmoil. Impossible. According to Hunter, Caleb stayed in Nanch for 5 days before going back. There was only a week left until the engagement banquet, and he had to go back to prepare. Hunter came over from time to time these days. On the surface, he was here to play with the cat, but in fact, he was here for meals. He started by coming only at noon and then began showing up on time for all 3 meals a day. I was quite happy about it. It's very fulfilling when someone likes the food and desserts I make. Chloe, it's my birthday the day after tomorrow. Could you please prepare something for my birthday? Hunter was cleaning up the dining table, putting the dishes and cookware into the dishwasher, and mentioned it as if it were an afterthought. Sure, but in exchange. I want tickets to the Alton Art exhibition, I said. I didn't stand on ceremony with him on his birthday. I prepared a table full of food. But after waiting for 2 hours, Hunter didn't show up. It was only after receiving a call from Secretary Lee that I learned Hunter had been in a car accident. It was almost evening when I rushed to the hospital. I found Hunter's ward and pushed open the door to see the man who was pitifully wrapped in bandages. Chloe, Secretary Lee quickly welcomed me into the room. President Hunter has a broken right leg and a mild concussion. As soon as he woke up, he asked me to contact you immediately. I put the cake I was carrying on the table. I heard you had an accident while fetching a painting. Yes, I saw it by chance and thought you would like it. But unfortunately, the painting was damaged in the accident and needs to be repaired, Hunter said, half leaning against the head of the bed. His eyes were deep and calm in the quiet room. We looked into each other's eyes, and neither of us broke the silence. I knew that he was curious about me and had a good impression of me before, and now it might have developed into love. After saving Little Black, I didn't refuse to have contact with him and even moved into his house. I have to admit that I'm not completely innocent either. Maybe it's because his appearance just meets my aesthetic standards, maybe it's because he's gentle with Little Black, or maybe it's because I selfishly want to use him to get rid of Caleb. But no matter what the reason is, I choose to let things take their course. He has a successful career and a handsome appearance. There's no loss in having some contact and maybe even falling in love. You had an accident while trying to give me the painting. What should I do? I suddenly feel a bit guilty, I said. Okay, then until you're discharged from the hospital, I'll take care of your 3 meals and little cakes. I clapped my hands, feeling that I was very responsible. Hunter was slightly taken aback and then suddenly lowered his head and laughed. What are you laughing at? All right, all right. Bad luck often brings good luck. Something good will happen soon. And today your birthday hasn't ended yet. This is a birthday cake I made with my own hands. We still need to have a sense of ceremony, I said. This is what the ambiguity between adults is like. When I don't feel like cooking, I would bring my drawing board to the hospital during the day. He would deal with company work, and I would draw beside him. It was only a week later that I received a message from my teacher. I didn't have to attend a graduation art exhibition originally, but a well-known foreign painter was going to visit, so my teacher decided to ask me to go back. When I arrived at the exhibition hall, there weren't too many people yet. As soon as I entered the door, my junior female classmate pulled me towards the reception room. While walking, she winked and gossiped. Sister, your CEO boyfriend brought a woman with him. Have you broken up? I let out a sigh, feeling helpless. Previously, there was a man who was rejected by me and had a breakdown, spreading rumors that I was being kept. So Caleb publicly confessed to meet Weiss on campus. Fortunately, I'm about to graduate, otherwise, I would really be asked so much that I'd develop social anxiety. I originally thought that as an entrepreneur in cooperation with the school, Caleb would bring Wendy to this kind of occasion. After entering, the first thing I noticed was the only splash of color. A girl in a red dress was standing beside Caleb. She was young, beautiful, and also very much like me. That red dress was a new high-end custom-made style this year. Caleb had ordered it for me 3 months ago. He knew that I liked to wear red on formal occasions. But unfortunately, I walked up to the teacher in the white suit designed by the teacher. The teacher was a very dashing little old lady. She smiled and pulled me to her side, introducing me to the master who came from abroad. Then the group of us went to look at the paintings in a grand manner. Finally, Hudinto, Felma and Sai. The socializing part ended. The teacher glanced sideways at Caleb not far away. Chloe, my son is your senior brother. He will be back next month. He previously said that you should have a good rapper at that time. I'll ask him to take you out for some fun. The teacher's voice was not low, and surely people nearby could hear it. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but I was very touched. Previously, Caleb had said either intentionally or unintentionally that he wanted me to be his full-time wife after I graduated. He said I could play around for 2 years first and then consider whether to pursue further studies or open my own studio. When one is young and impulsive and also has a love-struck mind, one will mess up everything. I smiled self-deprecatingly. Fortunately, having fulfilled my I have a chance to make amends. Teacher, thank you. Thankfully, the teacher has never been disappointed in me. During the free visit, I was a bit absent-minded. The face of a certain man thousands of miles away kept emerging in front of my eyes. Once bitten by a snake, one will be scared of a well rope for 10 years. The physical distance in reality instantly shattered the ambiguous atmosphere of those days when Caleb and I first got together. We were so affectionate that it seemed like we could be together for a lifetime, but now he has a fiancé and it seems that he has even found a substitute for me. I'm an idealist when it comes to love and freedom, but reality has shattered my beliefs. The teacher once said that I'm very much like her when she was young, desperate for love, but one day at a certain moment in time, I will suddenly grow up. Perhaps it's precisely because of this that the paintings I create have a full and rich soul. Follow your heart and don't weigh the pros and cons, the teacher often said. My previously hesitant mood became calm again. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was as if there was a telepathic connection. It was a call from Hunter. Hello? Calculating the time, it should be over on your side, but you haven't replied to any of my messages. I'm worried that something has happened to you. It's okay. I'm just looking at the paintings. There are many excellent works. I adjusted my tone to make myself less cold. How are you? Hunter was silent for a few seconds before his voice came again. Not so good. I miss you a bit. Then he quickly coughed and said, I miss the strawberry mousse she made a bit. I couldn't help laughing. Sometimes, I said. Hunter's serious appearance and his love for desserts always managed to tickle my funny bone. I'll be back in the afternoon. Just keep thinking about it for now, I said. After hanging up the phone, the smile on my face still hadn't faded. Suddenly, my arm was grabbed. I turned around following the force behind me. It was Caleb. The girl beside him was nowhere to be seen. He looked down at my phone with a gloomy expression and then looked at me. Who were you talking to on the phone? He asked. I pulled his hand away. It has nothing to do with you. Chloe, stop being willful. Does the woman I brought today look like you? Women like her have been swarming around me and Dross over the past 3 years. When I was with you, I never even gave them a second glance. I'm not short of women, but you're nothing without me. If you come back with me now, we can pretend that nothing happened. If you want to get married, at most in a year, I'll give you the title of Mrs. Caleb. I quickly took a big step back. Caleb, I'll repeat it again. We've broken up. And since I'm nothing, why are you still pestering me? From the moment you asked me to be your mistress, there will never be a possibility for us, I said. While he was frowning and thinking, I turned around and left. After saying to the teacher, I flew back to South City. After resting for one night, I went to the hospital to visit Hunter. He happened to be sitting in a wheelchair, basking in the sun downstairs. There was also an old man stretching and doing morning exercises beside him. I walked over and waved my hand in front of his eyes. After my hand was grabbed, he didn't let go. Yo, your wife has finally come, young man, the old man said. Hunter smiled and nodded at the old man. He said. The old man turned to look at me, looking very pleased. The relationship between young couples is really good. You have no idea. He sat downstairs the whole day yesterday. People who didn't know might have thought he was feeling down at such a young age. It turns out he was acting like a stone, waiting for his wife, the old man said. I looked at Hunter with an exaggerated expression and echoed the old man. Is that so? Then I read a sorry. The man's ears visibly turned red. After I pushed Hunter to say to the old man, we slowly went upstairs. Sorry, I said. I explained to the old man before that he has a bad memory and has always thought that we're married. It's okay. You don't have a marriage contract, so it doesn't bother me, I shrugged and looked indifferent. On the phone yesterday, your tone wasn't right. Did something happen? Nothing. I'm reflecting on the current situation. Maybe I'm being a bit serious, Hunter said, staring into my eyes for a long time before continuing. I shouldn't have been so hasty, but I'm afraid that before I'm ready, you'll have completely distanced yourself from me, just like when you ran off the plane when we met at the airport. I want you to be in my future life. You don't have to answer right away. I just hope that you won't run away and give me a chance to stay by your side. I opened my mouth but in the end only said one word, okay. After Hunter recovered, I moved out of his house. I lived in the ancient town of South City for 3 months and then went to the northwest to experience nature. During this period, I never lost touch with Hunter. Occasionally, he would also take a plane to the place where I was staying. He said that he really liked watching me paint and also liked the desserts I made. He could live a peaceful life by my side. During this period, I also received a message from my best friend. She said that Caleb had actually directly cancelled the engagement and completely fallen out with the Hunter family. The funding chain for the key project was broken, and he was so busy that he didn't even have a moment to spare. Some rival companies of the Caleb family were all making fun of him. I didn't have much of a feeling about this. I just gave a 2-word evaluation, curse him. Later on, I asked my best friend not to mention him to me anymore. Breaking up means becoming strangers, there should be no more intersections. Half a year later, with the recommendation of the teacher and the guidance of the foreign painter I met last time, I applied and was admitted to the most well-known art university in the UK for postgraduate studies. The farther I went, the broader my vision became. There were countless people coming and going around me. In the end, only Hunter has always been silently behind me. As long as I turn around, I can see him at any time. He said that he didn't know when his liking had turned into love. His childhood dream was to be free. As the heir of the Hunter family, the thing he could least afford to have was freedom. He had to support the family, couldn't have any accidents, and couldn't have any out-of-line behavior. But my appearance filled the place where he needed it the most. 3 years later, I returned to China to hold an art exhibition in the exhibition hall that I had most loaned for in the past. My most complacent works were hung all over. Over the years, there was one more thing that no one could have expected, that was that I had become good friends with Wendy. At first, she thought that I was just a pretty wife who relied on men. Once, when she participated in an auction and learned that I was one of her favorite new-style painters, she was so shocked that she directly bought all of my works on sale. Then she also found out that the mysterious eldest brother who had been elusive in recent years was actually wearing a pink apron and appearing at my residence. He used to like big dogs since he was a child, but now he was holding a black cat. His expression was so gentle that she doubted whether this was really her brother. Outside the no-one exhibition hall in the country, I had just finished answering Wendy's phone call and was about to go back. Isn't this the female college student that my brother kept before? I frowned and turned around. A wealthy woman in all her finery had a daring young girl on her arm. The mean words were said by this girl. I tried hard to recall and then remembered that these two people were actually Caleb's mother and sister. When we were together, Caleb's sister Tina was still studying in high school abroad. She looks a lot like the photo in my brother's phone, right, Mom? She looks pretty. No wonder Caleb has been thinking about her for all these years. Mrs. Caleb looked at me with disdain. Male like this kind of woman, a little vexed and who can't be taken to formal occasions. I didn't expect that even after 3 or 4 years, the people of the Caleb family could still make me feel uncomfortable. I turned around and walked back, but Tina quickly caught up and grabbed my arm. Don't go. My brother is in a state of despair every day now, and it's all your fault for disappointing him back then. Come back with me and apologize to my brother and stay by his side properly. I was shocked by her willlessness. Before I could get angry, a hand reached out from behind, pried Tina's hand away, and flung it back forcefully. Then I was pulled behind the person who came. As expected, it was Wendy. Mrs. Caleb was very familiar with Wendy and immediately put on a smiling face. Wendy, why are you here? I heard that you're not married yet. How about coming back with me for a meal today? Dear Tina pouted and was unwilling, trying to pull me again. Wendy didn't hold back either. She reached out and pushed Tina to the ground. What are you doing, Tina? Let out a scream. Don't touch my sister-in-law with your dirty hands. If you have no manners, go home and learn them again before coming out. People who don't know might think a monkey from Mountame has run out. After Wendy was jilted at the altar, she was actually only a little angry at first, but after she became my fan, she became extremely disgusted with the Caleb family. She's 1 year older than me, and she keeps calling me sister-in-law all the time for fear that I'll abandon Hunter. Mrs. Caleb's expression changed. She frowned and helped Tina up but didn't dare to say anything. Wendy has built a very large business of her own, and the Hunter family has been suppressing the Caleb family in recent years. Mrs. Caleb gave a dry smile and pulled Tina towards the gate of the adjacent exhibition hall. I patted Wendy reassuringly, then I also walked to the door. The ticket inspector slightly bowed to me in greeting when he saw me. Are you also here to see the exhibition? Mrs. Caleb looked at Wendy, who didn't follow, and then cast a contemptuous look at me. Look at your own status. Don't even think about being a waitress here. I didn't give her a glance. I walked up to the ticket inspector and reached out to take the invitation letters of the two of them. I had given the invitation to Chinu and Technology. It seemed that they had used some connections to get them transferred into their hands. I didn't invite the Caleb family. Throw them out, I coldly instructed the security guards at the door. Mrs. Caleb's face changed drastically, and she raised her voice. Who do you think you are? Why are you driving us away? Call the person in charge here. I rolled my eyes in a way that was hard to describe. These two were indeed mother and daughter with such loud voices. The security guards carried the two of them out. The people who came to the exhibition were either rich or noble and more or less knew each other in the upper class circle. Immediately, someone took a picture of the mother, daughter pair and posted it on Moments. Anyway, honey, the Caleb family was just rich and not really powerful. The connections I had made over the years through my teacher and foreign mentors were enough to crush the Caleb family. For people in a higher, level circle, it was just a matter of moving their fingers. I just needed to use a painting as a favor. If worst came to worst, I still had Hunter. Men should be used when the time is right. There was only this small episode on the first day of the exhibition, and I didn't take it to heart. On the second day, I saw an old acquaintance standing at the entrance of the exhibition hall. Caleb looked so haggard that he seemed to have aged 10 years. Coincidentally, Hunter had just returned from a business trip and accompanied me here to take a look. Originally, Hunter was a few months older than Caleb, but now if someone said they were not from the same generation, people would believe it. Caleb was stunned when he saw me and then suddenly turned to look at Hunter. You two suddenly putting paw fell as if thinking of something. He ignored Hunter. Chloe, you're back. I haven't heard from you for all these years. You don't know I called off the engagement a long time ago. I really know I was wrong. I let you down, but I love you. I never wanted to be separated from you. I didn't know that a fake marriage would hurt you so much. It won't happen again in the future. I only want to marry you. Let's get back together, okay? Before I could say anything, Hunter couldn't help but rush forward and punch him. Get lost, Caleb. Caleb wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, looking a bit dazed. You had your eyes on Chloe when you were in Natch, right? No wonder you were so strict with me. I couldn't find out any information. You despicable villain. I sighed and waved my hand at the people behind me. The security team, used to this, carried the man away. Before he was dragged away in front of him, I took Hunter's arm. The result of standing up for Hunter was that the heart that had just calmed down about proposing to me reignited. Before returning to the country, he proposed to me after my graduation ceremony. I resolutely refused. Love might be a necessity for me, but marriage is not necessarily so. I've isolated between being open-minded and being narrow-minded. I just follow my heart. Maybe I'll change my mind and decide to get married tomorrow. I won't look back on those who let me down. For those who are loyal to me, I will give them all my love. But the prerequisite for all of this is to love myself first.